6:30. I'm going to begin the meeting. I think everyone's here. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Shrewsbury Zoning Board of Appeals. As a preliminary matter, this is Mary Beth Lynch. I am the chairperson. Please permit me to confirm that all members and staff are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Lisa Cosette.
Here.
Peter Mulcahy.
Here.
Patrick Fullen.
Here.
Ann Ruffolo.
Here.
And Kevin Nisbet.
Here.
Thank you. Staff, when I call your name, Rowan McAllister.
Present.
Kristen Rapolo.
Here.
Thank you. All right. Good evening and welcome to the open meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. It's being conducted remotely, consistent with the Senate Bill 2475, signed into law by Governor Baker on June 16th, 2021, superseding certain provisions of the open meeting law, Mass General Law 30, Chapter 30, Article 18. This meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals will be conducted via remote participation for the greatest extent possible. To participate in the public comment portion of this public meeting, dial 1-864-657-0312 and enter the following PIN. The PIN is 323-500-210#. Please mute your devices until the chair of the board addresses their agenda items or opens the meeting for public commentary. Okay, just procedure here. I will introduce each board member or staff member who has the lead or role for the next particular item. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members first and then staff members, inviting each by name to provide a comment or questions. I will then call upon the members to offer a motion and for a second. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute and unmute your phone by pressing *6 or mute your computer when you are not speaking so as not to trigger your camera feed. For public items, for public comment, after members have spoken, the chair will afford public commentary as follows. The chair will ask each member of the public who wishes to speak to identify themselves, stating their name and address only. Once the chair has a list of all public commentators, I will call on each by name and afford 3 minutes for comments. For any responses, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name for the record. If members wish to engage in conversation with other members, please do so through the chair, being careful to identify yourself. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. Okay. First item on our agenda is to sign a bill to Worcester Telegram and Gazette for the October 25th, 2021 legal notices for $224. Can I please get a motion?
Motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so moved. Great. All right, next on the agenda, opening up the 6:30 hearings. First is request to withdraw a hearing. To hear the appeal of Rowan Realty LLC, 186-220 Boston Turnpike, Shrewsbury, Mass. For a variance and a special permit to the Town of Shrewsbury zoning bylaws under Section 7E and Section 4B to alter a non-conforming signage upon property located at 186-220 Boston Turnpike in the Limited Business District. The subject premise is described on the Shrewsbury Assessor's Tax Plate 32, Plot 408000. Can I please have a motion to accept the applicant's request for withdrawal without prejudice?
Motion to approve. Motion to accept without prejudice.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Chair. Do we have to do roll call?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Lord.
Lisa?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Patrick?
Aye.
Ann?
Aye.
And that's it. Mary Beth, aye, so moved. Okay, we'll get this figured out. All right. Next on our agenda, this is a request to continue to the February 28th, 2020 meeting. This is to hear the appeal of McGovern Auto Group Corp. Service, DBA, McGovern Collision, 777 Washington Street, Newton, Mass., for 2 variances and 2 special permits to the Town of Shrewsbury zoning bylaws under Section 7, Table 1, Footnote 9, and Section 4B to alter and reconstruct a non-conforming structure, to operate a garage or repair shop, to store vehicles on the lot, and to have a curb cut within 500 feet of a church upon property located at 420 Boston Turnpike in the Commercial Business District. The subject premise is described on the Shrewsbury Assessor's Tax, Plate 33, Plot 079000. Can I have a motion to continue this meeting to the February 28th Zoning Board of Appeals meeting at 6:30?
Motion to continue?
Can I get a second?
Seconded.
Thank you. All in favor? Lisa?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Patrick?
Aye.
Ann?
Aye.
Mary Beth, aye, so moved. Thank you. Next on the agenda is to hear the appeal of Kenneth Gatewood, 24, Topsfield Circle, Shrewsbury, Mass., for a special permit to the Town of Shrewsbury zoning bylaws under Section 4B to construct an addition on a pre-existing non-conforming structure and lot upon property located at 24 Topsfield Circle in the Residence A District. The subject premise is described on the Shrewsbury Assessor's Tax Plate 46, Plot 126000. This is a new public hearing. Can the applicant please introduce themselves and explain their application to the board, please?
Hello, good evening, members of the board. Thank you very much for allowing me to submit the permit and also come before you. Today, I'm basically going to go through the proposed addition that my wife and I are requesting. We live at 24 Topsfield Circle, as previously described. Right now, under the current conditions, as the bylaws state, we are a non-conforming lot. We do not meet the requirement of 20 feet between the existing property, the house structure itself, and our neighbors to the southeast of the current plot plan that you are looking at. Our proposed addition would inherently not really change much in terms of the distance that's being encroached upon. So we're pretty much keeping the distance the same for the 20 additional feet that we would hopefully be adding onto our home. And then we are moving inward to our own property line. We're not going any closer to our neighbors. We are not building up. We are only keeping it as a ranch and just adding a little bit to a basement as well. So there is nothing that we're doing that would necessarily infringe upon the distances as they are already. Am I supposed to say anything else?
Nope, I think you've said enough. Thank you very much. We appreciate this information.
Thank you.
Ms. McAllister, any additional information to add?
I don't think so, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Great. Now I'll go through each board member and see if they have any questions or comments. I would like to start with Lisa Cosette, please.
Thank you. This looks pretty straightforward to me. I have no questions or comments.
Oh, thank you. Peter Mulcahy?
Yeah, where it's not increasing the encroachment on the property line, I don't have a problem with it at all.
Great. Patrick Fullen?
No problem.
Ann Ruffalo?
Sorry, it looks fine to me.
Great. And it looks fine to me as well. With that being said, is there a motion to close the public hearing? Oh, I'm sorry. It is a public hearing. I apologize. I'm very sorry. Given that it is a public hearing, is there anybody that wishes to be heard, any abutters or anyone that wishes to be heard on this matter? I'm going to give it a few seconds.
You have a question?
George, yes. If you could identify yourself, please.
Just a moment, I had to unmute myself. My name is George Mallitz. I live across the street from the subject property, and the only other question I have is, if this proposal goes through, how many beds and baths will you end up with?
Hey, George. Good seeing you. We would then be expanding our home to a 3-bed, 3-bath, really only adding on the bath. The proposed addition itself is simply a master with an ensuite. Currently, as it stands, we do not have a master featuring an ensuite. We share the bathroom with our child, which hopefully we will have another soon, which is why we're trying to do the addition, so that we have just a little more space for us in our own home and allowing more space for our kids so they can have their own bathroom. So it would just be a 3-bed, 3-bath, adding on the bath theoretically. Thank you for the question.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that wishes to be heard? You can use the raise hand, or you can use the chat, or you can let us know you're here. Okay. I hope I've given adequate time for everyone to respond if they so needed to. I'd like to ask for a motion to close the public hearing, please.
Motion to close?
Can I get a second?
Second?
All in favor, Lisa?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Patrick?
Aye.
Anne?
Aye.
Mary Beth, aye, so moved. Do I have a motion? Do I have a motion to approve? We're looking for,
I
sorry.
think I could do this one, Mary Beth.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead, please.
I make a motion to approve the special permit to the Town of Shrewsbury zoning bylaw under Section 4B at 424 Topsfield Circle to construct an addition on a pre-existing non-conforming structure and lot upon property located at said in the Residence A district.
Thank
That's
you. Can I get a second?
Second?
Thank you. All in favor? Lisa?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Patrick?
Aye.
Anne?
Aye.
Mary Beth, aye, so moved. Thank you. Okay. Next up, we're here to hear the appeal of Anthony Germano, 791 School Street, Webster, Mass. For a special permit to the Town of Shrewsbury zoning bylaws under Section 4B to construct an addition on a pre-existing non-conforming structure and lot upon property located at 24 Manor Road in the Resident B1 district. The subject
Madam
premise
Chair?
is,
Point
Yes.
of order, I believe there's another agenda item before this one, 27 Bayview.
Bayview. Mhm.
thank you, I apologize. I'm very sorry. Let me go back one. I apologize. Please scratch that from the record. Next up is to hear the appeal of George P. Carizzi, Esquire, 294 West Boylston Street, West Boylston, Mass. For a special permit to the Town of Shrewsbury zoning bylaws under Section 4B to reconstruct and expand a pre-existing non-conforming single-family dwelling upon property located at 27 Bayview Drive in the Resident B2 district. The subject premise is described on the Shrewsbury Assessor's Tax Plate 57, Plot 025000. Can I ask whomever will be presenting to identify themselves, please?
Certainly, Madam Chair. My name is George Carizzi. I'm an attorney in West Boylston. I represent the applicants, which is Hugo Lima and Miriam Lima. They're also, I believe, also on the call tonight. I also have the builder on the call, David Lucia, and maybe his engineer if there's any questions engineering wise. Would you like me to do a quick presentation? So this also is an application for a special permit under Section 4B to basically reconstruct or rebuild on this property. There's a single family existing home now. It's a little close to one of the property lines, but the applicant's proposing to demolish the existing one and build a new home on the property, and yet they will, with the new home, will completely comply with all the side and front yard setbacks, rear yard setbacks under the bylaw. So although the existing home might be a little bit closer to the bylaw, the new house will be closer to the property lines. The new house will be a little bit squared and moved away from the property lines. And we received a letter from the building inspector saying that an application for special permit would be required. We submitted the application. Hopefully we've addressed the issues that might be raised under the bylaw. But this is basically allowing the Lemurs to build their rebuild their home and move on to onto site with this property. We have also provided copies of the house plans to see what the structure would look like. I know the Lemurs are very proud of it, and Bill is very proud of the product, and they'd like to build there and move in. So if there's any questions, I'm happy to address them.
Thank you, Attorney Carizzi. Ms. McAllister, anything that you can add?
Yep, just to briefly share that this is an undersized lot according to our zoning bylaw. You'll see up in the corner there, lot area of 12,500 square feet is required. So this is an expansion of living space on a non-conforming lot. And so Attorney Critzy is correct. There's the dimensional setbacks are met, but the house is increasing the non-conformity of the undersized lot, so to speak. So that is why they're in front of us tonight, and I believe that is it. It looks like the frontage is also slightly short, so undersized in both lot area and frontage.
Thank you. Let's go through the board members, see if they have questions or comments. Lisa Cosette?
I think I just have a comment. I don't have a question at this time until maybe deliberation. I just want to clarify that the previous property, if we could scroll up, thank you, has a non-conforming structure, and it is going to be demolished and reconstructed to the, if you could scroll back down, to a new structure that does meet our zoning setbacks, but the problem now is the lot itself will now be non-conforming, correct, Ms.
The,
McAllister?
right. The lot is an older lot. It's not conforming as it is right now. So current bylaw requires a little over 12,000. The lot's just a little over 9,000. So the lots are not. It's an older lot, but it will meet all the side yard and rear yard setbacks.
That's all I have at the moment.
Thank you.
Mr. Mulcahy?
Yeah, I think this looks great. I appreciate the effort that was made to make sure that it conforms to the setbacks. And I think the fact that it's more living space on an undersized lot, given that's not uncommon in that area of town, I think that's appropriate. So I think it's fine.
Great. Mr. Fullen?
Yep, looks good to me.
Thank you. Ann Ruffalo?
It looks fine.
Great, thank you. I would just say, I think that it looks fine to me as well, and I actually think the floor plan and the plans look exceptional, and I applaud anyone that's willing to take down a structure and rebuild it to the degree that the Lemas are proposing. So. So being that this is a public hearing, I would like to open it up for public commentary. You may use the chat or you raise your hand. Let us know you have something to add. I'm going to give a few seconds if there's anyone that would like to be heard. Okay. Hopefully I've given.
Sorry, Madam Chair, since we're not hearing any public comment, if I could just make one more comment before any motion.
Sure.
Thank you. So I'm just going to use perhaps some, it's not legalese really, but I want to just state clearly so that we are following interpretations of the bylaws regarding non-conforming structures and lots. Thank you for the clarification between the existing and the proposed. I just want to clarify that I do not see the new nonconformity that's being introduced to be substantially more detrimental than the existing one. So I am also fine with this.
Thank you for those comments. Okay, can I get a motion to close the public hearing, please?
Motion to close.
Can I get a second?
Second?
All in favor, Lisa?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Patrick?
Aye.
Anne?
Aye.
Mary Beth, aye, so moved. Can I please get a motion?
Yes, I make a motion. I'm not muted. Good. I make a motion to. Sorry, I have to go back. Bayview. I'm so sorry. It's not in the same order as the agenda. I will find it. Topsfield. Oh my gosh. Okay, found it. Sorry. It is in the same order. So I make a motion to approve the special permit to the Town of Shrewsbury zoning bylaw under section 4B to construct and expand a pre-existing non-conforming single-family dwelling upon property located at 27 Bayview Drive in the Residence B2 district.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Lisa? Peter?
Aye.
Patrick?
Aye.
Anne?
Aye.
Mary Beth, aye, so moved. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a great night, folks.
You as well. Good night. All right. Next on our agenda is to hear the appeal of Anthony Germano of 791 School Street, Webster, Mass. For a special permit to the Town of Shrewsbury zoning bylaws under Section 4B to construct an addition on a pre-existing non-conforming structure and lot upon property located at 24 Manor Road in the Resident B1 district. The subject premise is described on the Shrewsbury Assessor's Tax Plate 26, Plot 073000. And I believe we have a board member that needs to recuse himself, so we're going to welcome to the hearing Board Member Kevin Nesbitt. Welcome, Kevin.
Thank you.
This is a new hearing. Could the applicant please introduce themselves and explain their application to us?
I sure thing. Anthony Germano of LG Properties, 791 School Street in Webster, Mass. First, thank you to Rowan McAllister for all of her help in getting us to this point, and to the zoning board for allowing us to present this application for special permit on behalf of Charlie Beck and the Charlie Beck Irrevocable Trust, Deborah Beck as trustee on 24 Manor Road. I believe that this is a non-conforming lot based on the minimum number of square footage for the lot size. We are proposing an addition of 596 square feet to be added to the rear elevation of the current structure, and that proposed expansion falls well within all of the setbacks. So there's no issue of encroaching on the setbacks in the rear part of the yard. The purpose for the expansion really is basically living space. The floor plans have been submitted to the building department. Mr. Beck has 2 adult children living at home, and as I'm sure we're all too well aware, with COVID and remote work and / living space in their current Cape Cod style house, it's been a little challenging. So they are looking to add, like I said, 596 square feet of living space that includes a bathroom. That is it, I believe.
That is it. Okay, well, we appreciate that. Ms. McAllister, anything further to add?
No, just to highlight for the board again, this is just a non-conforming lot, so they're increasing the non-conformity of the undersized lot.
Got it. Okay. Let's work our way through the board, see if they have questions or comments. Lisa, can we start with you, please?
Sure, I'll word it the same way as the last one. For me, I do not see that this increased nonconformity is substantially more detrimental than the existing one, and so I am fine with this change.
Thank you. Mr. Mulcahy,
Same. Thank you.
thank you. Mr. Fullen,
Same.
thank you. Mr. Nesbitt,
As someone who lives in a house very close to the same size as this, I feel the pain, and I don't have any issues with it either.
Thank you.
looks like they might have some nice floor plans to share with you. And I feel the same. And we hope that you get everything you need for extra space during this time. So thank you. With that being said, this is a public hearing. If there's anyone present that wishes to be heard on this matter, you can raise your hand or let us know you're out there. Going to give this a couple seconds. We've had experiences in the past with people that had a hard time getting themselves unmuted. So just going to give it a couple seconds, make sure we're not missing anybody. All right. Might I get a motion to close the public hearing, please?
Motion to close.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor, Lisa?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Patrick?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Mary Beth Lynch, aye, so moved.
I make a motion, Madam Chair, to approve the special permit to the Town of Shrewsbury zoning bylaw under Section 4B to construct an addition on a pre-existing non-conforming structure and lot upon property located at 24 Manor Road in the Residence B1 district.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, Lisa?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Patrick?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Mary Beth, aye, so moved. Thank you very much for that presentation and all that information.
Thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Have a good night, everyone.
Welcome. Good night. Okay. Next on the agenda is to hear the appeal of George LeConte, 276 Plantation Street, Worcester, Mass, for a special permit to the Town of Shrewsbury zoning bylaws under Section 4B to construct a pre-existing non-conforming single-family dwelling upon property located at 29 Smith Road in the Residence B2 district. The subject premise is described on the Shrewsbury Assessor's Tax Plate 51, Plot 033000. This is a new hearing. Could the applicant please identify themselves and explain to us their application?
Hello, my name is George LeConte from 276 Plantation Street in Worcester. I want to thank you all for having me here tonight, and thank Rowan McAllister for walking me through this process. We purchased the house at 29 Smith Road about 5 years ago, and I've tried as hard as I could to look to different ways to renovate the house, but being in the condition it's in, it's not cost effective. So we looked into replacing the pre-existing structure on the same footprint. And that's why I'm here tonight, to ask you for a special permit. My architect, Ron Sears, is also on the phone, if you have any questions for me or him.
Great. Appreciate that. Ms. McAllister, can I ask you to add anything?
So the board will notice that all but the front yard do show non-conforming setbacks, both sides and rear. I can certainly pull up the existing plot plan too if needed, but this is the proposed. You will see in your Google Drive folders that the fire department has provided a comment asking that the board condition this, if granted, the board condition this structure to require a residential sprinkler system. And you can see their reasoning in the bullet points again in the attached. Notably, the fire department is concerned about the proximity of the neighboring structure at 33 Smith Road. Now, the plot plan does not show it, but you have a screenshot in your Google Drive folders showing the GIS map and the proximity of those two buildings. So it was at the request of the fire department that the board consider that condition tonight. The applicant has also worked well with the building department to ensure that they are at least moving in the right direction for compliance with building code in regards to fire safety and all that for the structure itself. So I believe that's it, but if you have any questions about staff or town department comments, feel free to let me know.
Thank you. Let's work our way through the board, see what comments, questions they have. Let's start with Lisa, please.
So I think I'll just start with some comments. No, well, I don't believe I have any questions for the appellant. I see the issue. So the appellant is proposing to demolish the existing structure and reconstruct a new structure with on the same footprint. So this one is a bit different than what the other non-conforming hearings we've just heard, in that the new structure of those were within our zoning setbacks. So this one is the new construction will still be it will still have non-conforming setbacks. In fact, the same ones they have here, which are pretty tight. So particularly the 1.5 foot space toward the lake and next to their abutting property. So this one's a little bit tougher for me. In some ways, it's not introducing a new nonconformity, but we are guided to, when there's a new construction like this, to look at this as if it were a new special permit, I guess. So, but I don't know where I feel on that regard. Ms. McAllister, I do have a comment about a zoning authority including conditions like we're being asked in terms of the firewall requirement and also a sprinkler system requirement. I don't recall in the past a zoning authority such as us in adding conditions like that to a special permit. So if you have history that you can bring up regarding that, that would be great to hear. But I'm right at the moment not comfortable with placing conditions like that as a zoning board member. That's it for me at the moment.
Okay.
Madam Chair, would you like me to respond
Yes.
or wait till the comments are done?
I think it's time to respond, just so that we can keep the conversation moving.
Okay, respond now. I'm sorry, just to confirm. Okay. Yeah, Ms. Cassette, I have not found, and the zoning enforcement officer as well, Patty Sheehan, was not aware of a condition such as this in the past. This is very unique, however, something that the zoning board has not seen before, the proximity of the two houses, that is. So I would leave it there as to what the staff and what the zoning enforcement officer's opinion is. I believe that's a generalization of what she believes is that the proximity of the two houses creates a unique circumstance.
Yes. Okay.
So I'll leave it at that. Was there a second part of that question?
No, I wanted to make clear I don't recall ever writing a condition such as this, and you confirmed that. So I'll just take that into consideration. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Mulcahy.
Sure. So I think I have some pretty significant reservations also, particularly with regard to that northeast corner. We had not too long ago a similar application that was also extremely close. I believe we sent them back to the drawing board. I think where this is a situation where you're talking about demolishing the structure, it would be a great time to get more in line. You know, obviously, maybe it's not totally possible to meet the current zoning standards just because it's an old lot and they're narrow lots and that's the way it is around the lake. But I would prefer to see it more in line with creating some additional space. You know, in like architectural drawing, it's usually a person is 2 to 3 feet wide, so 1.5 feet wide doesn't even leave space for a person to fit through and stay on the within the property boundaries. So I do have concerns about that, and particularly where the fire department has raised concerns. One of the things that we are supposed to consider is whether the new construction would create a nuisance. I think to the extent that the fire department is concerned about whether they could put out a fire, that suggests to me that there might be a nuisance there. And I also share Ms. Cassette's reservations about adding that condition. That would be something that I would want to maybe hear from town council about before we did it, if it's not something that the planning department knows offhand, whether that's in our authority. But so I'm very skeptical of the current plan. I'll leave it there, I think.
Okay. Patrick?
Yeah, I guess I'm a little up in the air here myself. I understand if it's the same footprint, we're kind of looking at the lesser of two evils, but also with it being torn down, I think some provisions could be made to, maybe make the setback a little better than it is now.
Okay. Anne?
So I have a question. I'm wondering if there are any bedrooms that are going to be located on the side of the property that abuts the adjacent property. Sorry, where are there going to be bedrooms on that side that's next to the is it 33, I think?
So you're talking about the side with the 1.5 setback?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe no. Those are going to be walk-in closets against that wall, I believe.
Okay.
The plans were changed.
Okay. And the reason I asked, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Madam Chair, if I might
Yeah.
just add, perhaps I would suggest the applicant, if he's comfortable, refer to the architect that's on the call. I have spoken with him today regarding the floor plans, and he did submit some to me that are in your folder right now if you want to take
Rowan, could you pull those up for us? I know that they were a late addition.
The plan that I'm looking at shows 2 bedrooms on that side of the house, unless I'm reading it wrong.
Floor plan, here we go.
Madam Chair, I don't know if the applicant would like to speak on this. I have some background I can provide in addition to any comments from the applicant.
Sure. Mr. LaConte, you do have your architect here as well. I don't know if you prefer to speak or allow him. It's up to you.
I'd like to allow him to speak on that. The plans that I have show there's no bedroom on that side, but I have several plans in front of me, so I apologize. If Ron is on, sure.
I am not sure.
I see a bedroom.
Madam Chair, I did see him coming on and off, so, oh, he looks like he's on. Never mind.
I don't know who it is, so whomever it is, if you could identify yourself.
Oh, sure. Ron Searles, the designer of the structure. It was brought to the attention of the proximity of the house on the right side of the property earlier today. We didn't have site plans showing exactly what was going on. So we've eliminated the windows. on that side of the house. So we took away any openings, and also the walls that are facing the abutting property will be done according to code, which would be fine.
Oh, we lost him.
Uh-oh.
Bummer.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it says he left the meeting.
Ms. McAllister, I think he was stating the code on what's required for firewalls, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I spoke with him earlier today, so I could perhaps jump in. So upon the comments from the building department, they have removed the windows facing 33 Smith Road, and will install fire resistant rated walls along the closest part of that structure to the neighboring house. That's this bedroom 1 here is where I believe he was mentioning he changed those things. And this plan was reviewed by the building department, and they feel that I believe they feel comfortable moving forward. It's sufficient for zoning board review. Of course, there will be a full code review at the time of any building permit submission. But at this point, I believe that they don't have any further comments on this plan from a fire safety perspective.
Madam Chair, I have a follow-up question.
I'm coming
You know
back.
what? I'm going to go back.
I'm coming back. I've been shut out and back and forth a few times already tonight.
So, Ron, I think we've gotten our answer with regard to the firewalls. That was one of the questions or the comments that you were in the process of making.
Yes, good.
Is there anything else? I know that Ms. Ruffalo had a few other questions, so I don't know if you want to hear the other questions or if there was anything else that you wanted to add.
Certainly, please.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
So just to confirm then, so the floor plans that we're looking at now that show a bedroom number 1 on the 2nd floor, that's been reconfigured or something?
Yes, that's I don't know what George was, but we had a couple earlier preliminaries that we worked with, and this was our final that we were submitting to the board in the building department at this time.
Okay, I guess I was just trying to evaluate the public health risk that's encompassed in the special permit criteria. If there were to be a bedroom there which would require an egress window, then the space, I'm concerned about the space between that dwelling and the adjacent dwelling. But if there's not going to be a bedroom on that side, then I don't have that issue. That was my only question.
Gotcha.
Madam Chair, can I just clarify?
We could take a look at swapping the bedroom for the walk-in closet. That would eliminate the bedroom being on that side of the house. Also, as far as egress windows, we have actually a 9-foot slider that's going out to a balcony deck for which would meet egress plus.
Okay. And any more
Madam Chair, I
questions?
just had
Okay, thank you. No, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, just a clarification
Yep,
question.
Mr.
So
Mulcahy.
am I understanding that the plans that we have in front of us, because I still see 2 windows on that side of the house. So are these plans not the final plans, or they are the final plans?
Is Ron here? I'm not sure if Ron's here. I don't believe that those are the final plans, as he spoke with
just today.
Ms. McAllister today, and I guess those windows will be removed from the plan.
Madam Chair, may I respond?
Yes. Yep.
I am not a building code expert by any means, but my understanding of, if you're looking at bedroom 2, Peter, there is a window not facing that side wall, and it's my understanding that, and again, I'm a planning and zoning expert, but 3 feet of horizontal distance is maintained at that part of the structure for an egress. I will just reiterate, though, I do not think the building department has any comments at this time about the floor plan. They have reviewed it. So it's my understanding that, at least at this point, there is no obvious, I would say, code violations that they flagged.
So, Madam Chair, can I ask my follow-up question?
Yep.
Okay.
Please, Lisa.
So it's a follow-up to my comment earlier about specifying conditions for approval. Again, I would not be comfortable adding a condition until we hear from council regarding the need for the sprinkler system, nor would I feel comfortable stating a condition regarding the firewall. I believe that would be under the purview of the building permit itself.
Correct.
So I don't think it's necessary for us to go there at this time, but I'd love to hear any other comments or public comment.
Can I lost you again. And
Yeah.
I just got back on. Can anybody hear me? Ron Searles here.
Yes, we can, Ron.
Oh, you can? Okay. There was something, one of the board members brought up the space between the property line and the building, I believe being 1.5 feet. We can straighten out that wall. We follow the existing footprint. But if you look at the right side of the building to the rear, there's a little jog, it's about 1 foot 9 inches. We can straighten that out, which would give us at least a passable area of 3 feet plus along the right side of the building in the back. Also move our our wall further away from the existing structure. So that would go. That's a possibility.
Yeah.
So, I'd like to just comment on that. I mean, I think that would make a big difference to me. I also have a question more. I'm going to go back to Deputy Chief's recommendation on the smoke or the sprinkler system. Is it your, have you decided based on his request that you would include a sprinkler system regardless of whether or not we put a condition on this? I'm curious to know where you're.
We haven't visited that. That was just brought up to our attention today. So that hasn't been visited. And by code, if we have a fire resistant wall, a sprinkler system is not necessary. If we do not have a fire resistant wall, a sprinkler system is required. And that's by code.
Oh, we lost him again. Poor guy.
Yeah, this is getting difficult to manage the conversation with the comings and goings, which is why Zoom meetings are so difficult. Mr. LeConte, did you have anything more to add?
I really don't. Not at this time, no. Just thank you for hearing my request.
Sure. Any other board members? I'm going to open up to public comment in a minute unless you have other questions or comments.
So provided the appellant is willing to re-architect the back side of the building, the northeast side, to possibly come in from the side yard setback another 1.9 feet. The structure, of course, would still be non-conforming, but I don't believe the non-conformity is detrimental to the neighborhood as it stands, and it would provide additional safety and what's the word I want? Anyway, to summarize, I think that would go a long way to making me feel like this is not a nuisance in terms of noise, traffic, safety, odor, and other conditions.
Okay. Thank you. This is a public hearing, so I'd like to open this up for public commentary. If there's anyone that wishes to be heard on this matter, if you could let us know you're out there, please.
I would. Can you
hear me? Okay, Mr. Walsh.
Yes.
Can you please, excuse me, before you go, I'd need you to state your name and your address for the record, please.
My name is Michael Walsh, 9 Stringer Dam Road and 33 Smith Road.
Oh, great. Thank you, Mr. Walsh.
So I live at 33 Smith Road. It is extremely close. George and Gina are nice people, but I think we should have the sprinkler systems in there. I have a handicapped mother, can't get out. That is really close. I can reach from my deck and touch his deck. I think since the fire department said that, that is a really good idea, and I would like you guys to try to look into doing that if you're going to allow this permit.
Thank you, Mr. Walsh. Appreciate that comment.
Yep.
Is there anyone else that wishes to be heard on this matter? I'm going to give it a couple seconds in case anyone's out there that wants to pop on.
Well, that deck, just Ron Searles. That deck is no longer going to be there.
Mr. Searles, can you just hold off on
Oh,
comment?
he's gone.
Oh, poor guy. I wonder
Oh,
if
my
it's.
heavens. All right. Okay. So I think
Madam
we've given.
Chair,
Yes.
when Mr. Searles does come back on, we could potentially give him the call-in number just to call in on his phone. Potentially would be a little bit better.
You know what? That's a good idea. I wonder if we could put that in the chat.
Yeah. And Madam Chair, I wonder, just a sort of procedural question, I guess. I think as the plan currently is, I think I'm probably a no vote, but if the applicant were to continue to the next meeting and adjust the plans along the lines as Ms. Cassette described, I would probably be a yes vote. And so I don't know that that's up to us as opposed to up to the applicant, but I just wanted to throw that out there before we close the meeting.
Well, we're just closing public commentary at this time, which.
Madam Chair, if you were to continue, you wouldn't want to close the public comment session at this time.
Okay.
All right. So is there anyone else that wishes to be heard? Okay. All right. Board, how would you like to proceed? Peter, thank you for those comments. Lisa?
There's two things I would like to have, and I don't know if it's amenable to the appellant. If we were to continue for, it would be another month till our next hearing. But I would like to have some guidance from council on whether it's a good practice for, or even in our purview to include conditions such as the sprinkler system and fireproofing walls. And the other is I would like to have updated architectural plans. Oh, Ron's back. I'll stop speaking. Ron, we have a number you can
Yes.
call it. We have a number you can call in if you lose the connection again.
Oh, yeah, I've lost it about 6 or 7 times.
Yeah.
Ron, if you
Let me
go into
do
the
that.
chat,
I'm going to go to call.
Okay. And
Ron, if you go into the chat, the number is posted in the chat.
In the chat? Okay. I will get that. I'll try to get back to you. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Oh, there it is. That's it.
so if you drop off, you can just call back.
Yeah, I mean, you're
Otherwise,
welcome to stick with it, but note that number and call back if you would like.
Okay.
Lisa, are you through with your comments, questions?
Yes, and I'd appreciate updated plans. So
Right.
I would be comfortable continuing this. I don't know if the appellant would be.
Right. Okay. Mr. Fullen.
I think continuing it would be a good idea.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Ruffalo.
I agree. I'd like to see some updated plans and hear from town council about conditioning the special permit before we were to make a decision. So I would recommend continuing it.
Okay, so, and my comments are, just to round up, I think we're, as a board, are struggling with the close proximity of that 1.5 foot sideline. We're also struggling.
Oh, Ron, you can, if you are calling us.
Yes, I am.
You have to get off of your video chat.
Oh, okay. Okay, I didn't know that. Very good.
There you go. That's good.
Okay, this is like the Gong Show here, the ZBA Gong Show. I'm sorry.
You're kidding.
We're really
Yeah.
old if you remember the Gong Show.
I do remember the Gong Show.
It's like laughing, actually. Everybody's got a little box here.
Yep.
So I think we're struggling with that 1.5 foot side yard setback situation, as well as the commentary from the fire chief with regard
Yep.
to the request for some additional fire suppression. And I think as a board, we are all looking for some further guidance from
Okay.
perhaps our town council. So I do think that we're going to, as a board, and I'm trying to read the room here, or the little squares, so to speak. I think it's going to be the suggestion of the board that we continue this until our next hearing, and we will work
Okay.
closely with you. And I also would say that changing that 1.5 to 3 feet will make a meaningful difference, I believe, to all.
I
of the
agree.
board.
I agree. I agree with you there. Yes. Yep.
Okay, great. So if I could get
Definitely.
a motion for a continuance would be helpful at this point.
I will be in touch, just to let you know, we'll be in touch with the fire chief of the fire department and also with Patty in the building department to go over these issues.
That's great. That is
Okay.
that is very helpful. I think everybody on the call, including the abutters, will be very appreciative of this information. So thank you.
Yep. You're welcome.
Okay, we could get move
Sorry,
continue,
can I
please?
have confirmation of the date of the hearing, February 20?
February 28th. February 28th, Lisa.
Okay, thank you. I make a motion to continue the hearing for 29 Smith Road to February 28th at 6:30 p.m.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Lisa?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Patrick?
Aye.
Anne?
Aye.
Mary Beth, aye. So moved. We will see you next month, and thank you very much, everyone, for your patience on that. That was
Very
a little,
good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was fun
Have
on
a good
Hollywood
night.
Squares.
all right. Hollywood Squares it is. That's right.
Okay.
That's what.
Yep. Everybody's famous. We'll see you. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. And we really appreciate the patience of everyone else that's waiting to get on here. Our next hearing is to hear the appeal of Zekusham Magdum at 20E Farmington Drive. This is in Shrewsbury for a variance to the Town of Shrewsbury zoning bylaws under Section 7, Table 2, to construct a non-conforming addition on a single-family dwelling upon property located at 20E Farmington Drive in the Rural B District. The subject premise is described on the Shrewsbury Assessor's Tax Plate 47, Plot 105000. Can I get the appellant to state their name and let us?
Yeah, my name is Zakir Magdam, and I live at 20E Farmington Drive. That's probably like most confusing address in Shrewsbury because everybody confuses for 20 East Farmington Drive. But my house number is 20E. So we have, and again, this is a little bit different than what you have heard. We have a huge lot, but we still have to apply for non-conformity here. So I have my parents come in and live with me, and so they are getting older, and I need something to like some bedroom on the first floor, so that they don't have to go up and down. And because of the COVID, like I have adult children that work also, so we wanted to have like a little bit more office space. So so we tried to locate this addition around our house, and nowhere, wherever we put it, it is not meeting some offset. We found this particular location where it is meeting all other offsets except one in the back, and then again that is also instead of 30 feet, it is 21.5 feet. So it is, I think there's ample distance there. We want a little bit bigger bedroom, because if we had to move wheelchairs and other things through the house, it might be a little easier if you have rather than like a crampy bedroom. So that's why you see a little bit bigger sizes, and just to look a little bit nicer, we want to add like a little porch in front, and that doesn't meet, that actually meets the conformity. Only in the back it doesn't meet. So that's what we wanted to propose. And again, as you can see, my lot is huge, but it's completely unusable on one, like where it goes to 140. It's divided by the easement of the driveway. So I have about like 15,000 square feet area where I use to build. I'm just proposing to add 720 square feet to my house.
Thank you for that. Ms. McAllister, any comments?
Thank you, Madam Chair. My only comment for the board is that this 54.7 feet setback is a front yard based on the plot plan submitted when the house was built. And that is 50 feet is the required front yard setback for this zoning district. This 49 feet is a side and is required at 30 feet. I believe that is it, though.
Thank you. Okay, comments from the board. Lisa?
Thank you for your presentation. I believe you have sufficiently provided evidence to me of your hardship. And I also, at this point, though it introduces a new nonconformity, I don't believe it's substantially detrimental to the more than the existing one, but I would like to hear public comment from abutters.
Mr. Mulcahy?
Yeah, very similar reaction. Under the statute, we have to look at shape, soil, and topography. And as you noted, the shape of your lot is very unusual and is not like the shape of the other lots around. And so I think on that basis alone, I think you could probably meet the variance requirement. And it sounds like you did also try very hard and were sensitive in your design to try to fit it within the setbacks. And this is sort of the best you could do. And that's all we can ask anybody to do. So I would also be interested in hearing from abutters, but to me, this seems like a pretty standard case for variance.
Thank you, Peter. Patrick?
Yeah, that is a pretty weird looking yard. But, I'd like to see how the neighbors all like cut the grass. I would.
Yeah, I just have to cut the grass for 15,000 square feet. Rest all is like it's going to 140. So it's all wooded there.
Yeah, I see that.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm good until we hear from the abutters also.
Okay, great. Anne?
Yeah, this seems straightforward. I don't have any problems with it.
Okay, great. And I would agree it's not more detrimental. The shape and the topography are both areas of concern. You've got some easements over there. So I would agree with all the comments that have been made so far, but would be interested to hear from anybody out there that, so this is a public hearing. We are going to open this up now to public commentary from any abutters that are out there. And we would welcome that. It's always great to hear from abutters, by the way, as a board. We're here to serve you. And so many times we wonder what the neighbors think. And when they don't come on to calls or attend meetings, we don't know. So we're left to imagine. So I'm going to give a couple seconds. Looks like my screen is frozen. Is that everybody else seeing a frozen screen?
No, we do have someone, Bill Russell, who is ready to speak.
So great news. You can all say how you met the famous Bill Russell tonight from Boston. You're a basketball fan. No, I live on the front side of this, so I just wanted to understand what was occurring as a kid. I think it makes perfect sense from what's going on. So from an abutter perspective, that is right up against him on the side that is considered the front. I think this makes sense and has our endorsement. My wife is also on this call in a different part of the room, so we didn't have that show of background noise if we started talking. So she's in alignment with this as well. So
that's great to hear. That's great. Appreciate that. Anybody else out there? Any other people need to be heard on this matter? Gonna give it a couple seconds. Appreciate the Russells showing up for the meeting.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Zakir,
Thank
good
you
seeing
very
you.
much.
Bye-bye.
Okay, I think we might have given adequate time. So can I get a motion to close the public hearing, please?
Motion to close?
Can I get a second?
Second?
All in favor? Lisa?
Aye.
Patrick?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Anne?
Aye.
Mary Beth, aye. So moved. Wonderful.
And Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the variance to the Town of Shrewsbury zoning bylaw under Section 7, Table 2, to construct a non-conforming addition on a single-family dwelling upon property located at 20E Farmington Drive in the Rural B District.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second?
All in favor? Lisa?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Patrick?
Aye.
Anne?
Aye.
And Mary Beth, aye. So moved. Thank you very much, Zakir. And
Thank you, Ms. McAllister, for guiding me through this process, and thank you, board, for approving this. My application.
you're very welcome. Thank you very much. All right, on to our next hearing. And this next hearing deserves the award for being the most patient, and we appreciate it very, very much. This is to hear the appeal of Jeremy and Kristen Ahern of 236 Gulf Street, Shrewsbury, Mass. for 2 variances to the Town of Shrewsbury zoning bylaws under Section 7, Table 2, and Section 7C to construct a non-conforming barn and pool upon property located at 236 Gulf Street in the Rural B District. The subject premise is described on the Shrewsbury Assessor's Tax Plate 09, Plot 003023. And if I could have the appellant identify themselves or their representative?
Thank you, members of the board. Brian Beaton on behalf of the applicants, Kristen and Jeremy Ahern, who reside at 236 Gulf Street. And if it's okay with you, I could do a brief presentation overview of the proposed relief the applicants are requesting.
Sure, that'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you. So again, the applicants reside with their family at 236 Gulf Street. And similar to the applicant that you had before you requesting a variance, this is also a lot that is frankly rather uniquely shaped. It's 3.3 acres, large size lot. In addition to having the odd property boundaries, it's an asymmetrical lot, again, similar to the other one. I'm not sure this particular plan shows it, but there was another plan that you may not have had the benefit of looking at that shows the narrow run up to the lot where it extends out, and again, rather oddly shaped. In addition, as you can see on the plan that is currently up in front of you, considerable wetlands all over the site. Thank you. So again, a rather asymmetrically shaped lot, and as you can see, based off the location of the wetland flags, there are wetlands all over the site. Which obviously restrict the area which could be developed. The applicants have it's a 2-part project that they're proposing to get the relief for. 2 components. The first is construction of a barn, which you can see the footprint of shown on, I think, on the previous plan. Thank you. Excellent. So there's a location of the proposed barn, and then also location of a proposed pool. This is their residence, again, where they reside with their family. The nature of the release themselves is we're seeking 2 variances. The first variance with respect to the barn is a request for 40 feet of relief from Section 7B, Table 2 of the Shrewsbury zoning bylaw. And the second variance relates to the pool, which is a request for 9 feet of relief from Section 7C3, Table 4 of the bylaw. As we're seeking variances, I thought it would make sense for us to address some of the procedural requirements associated with asking for relief of that sort. I guess I should also just step back and say, as a matter of procedure, obviously, given the location of the wetlands, the proposed project would be in the buffer zone, and the applicant is fully aware of that, has retained a wetland scientist to prepare a notice of intent. But in terms of the critical path for the project, we thought this would be the first stop. Not to be obviously see how the board feels about the project, the proposed locations, and so on. So we figured we'd try and tackle this, see how we made out here. But again, fully prepared if this were to reach a favorable result, to of course go ahead and file with the Conservation Commission, and ultimately, of course, we'd have to incorporate any of their feedback. But so just in terms of procedure, fully aware of the location of the wetlands and what goes along with that. The procedural requirements associated with the variance request, we thought we would again just more or less address those head on. Similar to the application before, because it's a variance, there is a hardship requirement that we have to address and go through the elements of with you. Shape and topography are the two readily applicable to this particular project, we believe. I addressed the shape of the lot. Again, it's an oddly shaped lot due to the shape and the location of the existing house. Obviously, the applicants are restricted in terms of where they could potentially locate the two parts of the project. The wetlands obviously substantially diminish the area, and they want to take every step they can to sort of minimize any impacts. So they're trying to shift everything as further away from the wetland locations themselves. And then there's another element to this, which again, why we feel the lot itself is somewhat unique with respect to some variance applications. So in addition to the shape, there are also topographical issues. The applicants went and on the plan, we wanted to make sure that we included some contours on this plan, just so that you can demonstrate how this lot, the contours themselves, the shape and topography relate to what is existing there now. So as you might imagine, from a drainage perspective, from a topographic and contour perspective, the site slopes from the corner of the home down into that wetlands and down towards Gulf Street. The house itself currently is set well off of Gulf Street. Another unique factor in this particular, for this particular lot is there are no direct, in terms of structures, homes, anything of any kind located to the rear of the lot. That is a very large undeveloped piece of property. So there is no direct abutter on top of or in close proximity, at least with respect to a residence or any type of development for that matter, to the rear of that lot. So again, just procedurally, shape and topography we feel apply here. In addition, as you can see with respect to the topography, the idea would be to keep the barn, well, there's two parts. Number one, as far away from the wetlands as possible, but also, frankly, as upgradient as possible. From a continuity perspective with the house itself, and again, obviously, to stay as far away from the wetlands. And we're sort of hemmed in, again, because of the shape and how close it is to the rear lot line from where those structures could go. The other element, just in terms of the variance requirements, is being able to grant the relief without any type of substantial detriment to the public good, and obviously any type of negative impact with respect to the bylaw itself. And again, there are no abutters, frankly, in proximity to the perceived location. It's a use consistent with the rural B type of uses. And again, it's set so far off of Gulf Street itself that we feel there would really be no detrimental impact should the board deem to grant the request. So I'm not sure if there's any specific questions, anything we can offer you with respect to the proposed project. The applicant is on the phone as well, or on the call as well, so they would be able to answer any questions as well.
Thank you, Attorney Beaton. Ms. McAllister, is there anything further you can add?
Madam Chair, thank you. No, I think that about covers it. No, I don't have anything else to add. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'm going to open it up to the board members. Ms. Cassette?
I have no comments and no questions. That was very thorough and all the criteria that I would need to approve this has been met. You've certainly identified a lot of hardships, and I'm okay with what's being proposed.
Mr. Mulcahy.
Yeah, same. I think it's sort of a rare meeting where we have two cases that very squarely meet the requirements for a variance, but you sort of have the trifecta here. You have shape. I think you clearly have soil and topography with the wetlands. It doesn't derogate from the intent of the bylaw because there are no abutters, so you're not going to bother anybody. It's consistent with that zoning district. And I do appreciate that you've made an effort to try to move things away from the wetlands as much as you can, and the Conservation Commission can take it from there. So I think you hit all the check boxes. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Fullen?
Yeah, that was a fantastic presentation, and I love bonds, so that looks good to me.
All right. Miss Ruffalo?
I have no additional concerns.
You like swimming pools, I bet. No.
Right.
Okay. No, I would agree with all of my colleagues. A very, very good presentation. Very, very helpful. This is not this was not an easy one, but you really helped us unravel it, Attorney Beaton. So thank you for that. It is a public hearing, so at this time, I'd like to open the hearing up to public comments. Let me give it a couple seconds. We should have like a little clock that appears, goes backwards. Given that nobody lives around this house, I don't know that we're going to get a whole lot of public comment, but that could surprise us all. Certainly anyone's welcome to add their position on this. Okay.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Great, thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Oh, wait a
Aye.
minute. Yeah,
Yep.
I haven't even been doing this.
Yeah.
Aye, Lisa. Yeah, Peter.
Aye.
Patrick.
Aye.
Anne.
Aye.
And I. All right.
And I'll make a motion. Yes, I make a
please.
motion to approve 2 variances to the Town of Shrewsbury zoning bylaw under Section 7, Table 2, and Section 7C to construct a non-conforming barn and pool upon property located at 236 Gulf Street in the Rural B District.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor. Lisa.
Aye.
Peter.
Aye.
Patrick.
Aye.
Anne.
Aye.
Mary Beth. Aye. So moved. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
for
much.
that.
Have a good evening. Thank
Thank you,
you.
everyone. All right. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay. And then there were 12, 14. All right. So we are going to move on to the next item, which is new business, I believe. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a request to consider a de minimis change to a hearing, an appeal that we've heard at 35 Hartford Turnpike. The Zoning Board of Appeals is allowed to make a finding that the proposed change to the subject property is insubstantial in nature and does not require an application to the board under Article 4, Section 2 of the Shrewsbury zoning bylaws. Would the applicant please, I believe it's Mr. Lundgren, would you please explain your request to the board if you could?
Good evening. I'm Jim Lundgren. I'm representing my brother. We met with you a few months back on this proposal that was approved. When we demolished the existing structure that was there and we were going for the building permit, we found out that the original survey didn't show the bump out in the garage going towards Route 20. It doesn't affect what we had asked for the side. It was 5 feet on the right-hand side where the existing garage was and what we went for. On the plan itself, when it went to Jarvis Engineering, there was a slight jog in the garage on the front of it. You can see on the right in that picture now. Where the actual plans, when we had them done by the architect, that garage is flush out to the front. It's still the same setback, and it's actually where the existing garage was in the past. When we did this meeting initially, there was no abutters came. There was no discussion on it from anyone else. It's not going to affect the 5 feet. And we went for the 5 feet because under the recommendations of the Conservation Commission, the existing structure was closer to the lake and they wanted to keep it to the right side of the lot when we did it. So now that we went for the building permit, it's been held up because it's not the same Jarvis plan for the plot than what we're trying to build. So it's just that jog on the right-hand side of the garage. As you can see, it's pictured here on the right-hand side of that, if everyone can see it.
Okay. Ms. McAllister, can you give us some guidance on this, please?
Yeah. So, as the applicant, or I guess the representative here today pointed out, this was caught in the building permit stage. The proposed plan in the permitting system didn't match with what the board had approved. It sounds like it was a fairly innocent kind of miscommunication at some point along the way. Just to say it again, this is what the Board of Appeals approved in their decision from August 30th, 2021. And this is the this is the submitted plan that they're now requesting the board consider as insubstantial, de minimis, so to speak. So I know the board may not be exceedingly comfortable or familiar with this procedure. You have done this at least once before in my memory with a property at Kings Point, I believe, almost about a year ago. So it's the same procedure that they're requesting of you now is a determination of or finding, I should say, that the proposed plan shown here is not any more substantial or is not substantially different than the one that you approved. So if you do make such a finding, the applicant will be able to proceed. I'll write a letter with your findings, submit it to Mr. Lundgren, and they can continue with their building permit. If you make a finding that it is substantial in nature from the one that you approved, we will have them submit a variance modification, and it'll go through the public hearing process, and hopefully we'll get on the agenda for the February 28th meeting. So any questions, feel free to jump in. This isn't a public hearing.
Okay, good. So
it's not advertised. Go ahead.
What would be really helpful, Rowan, if you could, I'm looking at what was submitted to us August 30th of 2021.
Yep.
And I think everyone would be able to see very quickly whether this is a slight modification or not, if we could see them side by side. Or I can try to explain. I wasn't sure what the change was, but I'm pretty sure now. It's on that southeast corner.
Yes. Would you like me to try to position my windows so that you can see them side by side? Is that what you were requesting?
That would be great.
Yeah, I can try that.
Okay.
Give me a moment.
There you go. Yeah. So that
Oops. Here.
I wonder, while we're doing this, just a quick question. I'm having trouble figuring out from the map, who's the abutter on that side, on the east side?
Yes, the abutter is on the east side and also on the north side.
The setback's not changing. It's still the 5 feet. We're not asking to change anything. We're just the going towards Route 20, if you will, on that, moving out, which is still meets all the requirements on the distance. It's just there was a mix up somewhere on Jarvis from the original perception plan from the architect is when we had to finish one. So we've already completed demolition. We're ready to stop building, and this was noticed by the town that there was a small little jog out of the garage that was non-existing on the plan. But as far as the variance go, we wouldn't need, if that was existing, wanted to move out front, we wouldn't need a variance for that additional piece we were putting on if it was existing already, the garage.
Thank you.
This is helpful. Oh, I see.
There
you found a whole square in your garage that wasn't there before.
Yeah.
12, that's 12, is it 12 feet? That wall is 12 feet?
12 feet wider, but it's still the same setback as the 5 feet that was approved.
And it looks like the abutter on that side, is that a commercial?
There's a garage next to it, existing, that was been with our family's property that we sold. And that business is to the right. There's a garage in the same spot. It's been there, I think, since the early 30s.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll throw out my feelings on it. I think it's insignificant modification, and had we seen this plan before us, I don't believe it would have changed my decision at the time. So I'll just say that for now.
So I agree with you, Lisa. I mean, I think it's you know, a whole chunk is here that we didn't approve of, but I agree that I don't know that if that was there when this came in front of us, that would have changed the way I would have determined my position on this. So I'm comfortable with this as we're seeing it now.
Yep. I mean, we granted the variance for the 5 foot and
Right.
Setback, and it's still 5
there.
feet.
It's still there, right?
Yeah.
That hasn't changed. So
I guess I'd offer, you know, when I think de minimis, I think a couple feet here and there, like, you know, it's 250 square feet. It's not exactly de minimis, but I agree that I don't think it would have changed my vote. I guess my bigger concern is whether, you know, this discussion right here isn't publicly noticed the same way that a public hearing is, and the public doesn't have the same way to weigh in. And so to the extent that the abutters, it might have made a difference to abutters, they have a right to be heard. Where it's a commercial garage and it doesn't seem to present the same kind of concerns as if it was someone's house that was right there. So I could kind of go either way, but I sort of lean towards de minimis.
Right.
I think it'd be a pretty weird looking garage the way it was before. So
maybe he can turn it into a barn, Patrick.
I'd like the new one, build a barn right near it.
Or a pool.
Put a couple on top and then it's a barn.
I don't want a pool, just a barn.
Just a barn. Okay, well. Ann, any comments?
No, it seems de minimis, so I'm okay with it.
So procedurally, assuming that we're all okay with this, what's our next step, Rowan?
Do we have to vote that it's a de minimis modification?
Yes, please. It'll have to be a majority vote for the finding that you could say anything to the effect that you have been saying. It's insubstantial in nature, and you feel that you do not need it to return, or that you are, I suppose, waiving the right or the requirement for it to return to the board via a full hearing.
Okay.
That sounds like a Lisa Cosette.
Yeah, I'll try. Or Peter.
Or Ann, or Patrick.
Yeah, anybody else want to make a motion this evening? That'd be awesome.
I've gotten really good at just saying second. So I'm
okay.
Gonna stay in my lane.
Well, let's get clear. We do state our opinions when we have them, but I think procedurally, Lisa, you've got the smoothest approach that we could ask for at this 8 o'clock hour. So
okay. Let's see. So I make a motion to accept the change to Hartford Turnpike, 35 Hartford Turnpike plot plan is a insubstantial change, and I'll just stop there.
Okay, can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor, Lisa?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Patrick?
Aye.
Ann?
Aye.
Mary Beth? Aye. So moved.
I think that was all that was needed.
All right. Thank you, Bob and Jim.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your time.
You're welcome. Okay, I need a motion to close our meeting.
Madam Chair, I'm so
there's
sorry.
another one.
May I say?
Do I have something? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rowan.
It's so brief. It is just a correspondence though that I want to call your attention to from Wind Development, who is our new developer for the Point Hills Farm. They just submitted a letter to us that you can find in our Google Drive folder that says that the comprehensive permit has been transferred from Smart Growth LLC to Wind Development. So that is our update. We will continue to have some correspondence updates as they come in, but that is it. If you have any questions, you can reach out to the planning department. That's it.
You know, before we close the meeting, can I just say, Rowan, you are just such a great asset to us. And have
Thank
such a
you.
great way
Yes,
of
she
doing
is.
things. You're a superstar, and we really appreciate you. It's great to have you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for all the last minute questions, answering last minute questions and getting us prepared for today.
Okay.
So with that, I make a motion to close the zoning hearing for January 31st, 2022.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor. Lisa.
Aye.
Peter.
Aye.
Patrick.
Aye.
Anne.
Aye.
Mary Beth. Aye. So moved. Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. We will see you next meeting, which is February 28th.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Good night.